Yes, Michael Jackson. Missed that, brother. Well, I want to welcome you tonight to another evening of Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Relationships. This is Voni, your sexual wellness coach, along with
I am Z, your love and sex enthusiast and relationship enthusiast.
Yes, you are.
Also, brand new author of my new memoir, Jamaica, a Memoir of Miracles, Manifestations, Love. Hey, Voni, peace and love, Queen. How are you today?
Oh, I am doing well. It's been a long day, sis, and I'm glad to be here in this space with you and the family tonight. Yes, I am. And I love the topic that we're going to be discussing tonight as well. So, I am glad to be here, sis. Thank you. How are you doing?
You know, I am absolutely fantastic as well. It is good, first of all, to be back here with the family. It's so good to see our friends and loved ones joining with us tonight. And it is a great topic. You know, anytime we're talking about love, it's always a good topic. So,
you know, and see, let me just say this. I love how you say love. It radiates.
I'm trying to learn, girl. I'm trying to learn. Janine Ann Ingram, the love goddess, is teaching me how to say that love. So I love it. Keep on practicing with that one. But it feels good. The vibration of love feels good. And, you know, today was, and still is, you know, history in the making here in the United States of America because we do have a new president. And but what I really want, so give God the glory and the praise and know that God is in charge and all is well.
That's right.
And then, but what was so beautiful, just to be able to say farewell to our amazing President Obama and our First Lady Michelle. Oh, I was just so filled today, and that's what I spent most of my morning doing, sitting with my mom, and we just watched the transition, and I was just so happy to hear that he and beautiful Queen Michelle are going to Palm Springs. I said, I know he can't wait to get that suit and that tie off, put him some shorts and some tennis shoes on, and she going to get in her sexy jeans or shorts or something and just hang out and just be amazing, you know, just relax and live their life. So I'm just so happy for them. I'm so blessed and grateful God brought them through these 8 years. And he will always, Voni, he will always be my president. He will always.
I know that's right.
So I just want to give, just send out some love from Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Relationships to President Obama and First Lady Michelle and Sasha and Malia. We love you so much and we appreciate you for the service of love that you have given us over these 8 years. Okay, so that's my political speech for the day.
We're just going to keep the love energy. We're just going to keep the love energy flowing this evening with our discussion and with the music that we're going to be sharing. And we started out with Michael Jackson. One of my favorite songs by him is Yes. Oh my gosh, I love that song. And you know, just sharing, you know, the love and spreading the love as we all work collectively to lift the love vibration. And what better time to do that now than this time, you know, because the world needs it more than ever. And I like to think that love, sex, and relationships, you know, is a way that we can contribute to that effort. So family, before we get into our conversation, we're going to start with our disclaimer for those that are new to the show. And then for those that, we noticed that we changed the name up some too. As Z mentioned, she is the relationship enthusiast and new author as well. So we are now Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Relationships. Yes. And we're still going to bring tidbits of new, we're still going to talk about wellness and nutrition and stuff too. But, we just wanted to, we're going to change it up a little bit for 2017. But what we are keeping the same is our disclaimer. And what that is, family, is just letting you know that this is an adult show. So we just like to, just inform you of such, because during the week, this program, this station, we have various wonderful shows that go on during the week. But on Fridays and the first and third Fridays on Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Relationships, we get a little racy. So we just like to let the family know this is an R-rated show. So if you're on speaker and you have little ones that are in the listening area, this is your time. And we just want you to, to appreciate it and get comfortable with us and enjoy this grown folk adult conversation. And then also we just like to clarify that I am a sexual wellness coach, and Z is our author and relationship enthusiast and love enthusiast and so many different wonderful things that we are. And we just want to just communicate to the family that we are not medical doctors or MDs. So we're not in that profession. And so any recommendations and suggestions that we have, and they might be contradicting, any type of medical treatment that you're undergoing, we ask that you communicate with your primary care physician. So this show, our shows vary. This show is pretty lightweight. We're not going to get into that, but we just like to make that disclaimer just in case. I'm like, if you want your yoni to taste sweet, eat a whole bunch of pineapples and blueberries and blackberries, but pineapples are very sweet. So if you have something going on with your blood sugar, you might not want to eat all the pineapples. So that's what I'm saying. That's just an example of, some of the stuff that comes out of our mouth. Without further ado, we're going to get into tonight's show where we're talking about learning to love without losing ourselves.
Yes. So thank you, first of all, for that disclaimer, Voni. And, we haven't done a really racy sex conversation in a while, but it's coming up because we got the Love Month coming up. So, when
yes.
Talk about some good sex. Yes. Sex and sexuality and sensuality. And since we were talking, you just said about some of the things we don't do, I would like for you to take a moment to let the family know what you are doing. I know you said you're a sexual wellness coach, and what are some of the other things that you're doing to help women, especially with the enhancement of their bodies, their yonis? So talk a little bit about that before we go into our conversation.
Okay. Well, one thing I am excited about is for next month, I am offering couples massage courses. So I've been a massage therapist for over 10 years, and the common thing that I get when I massage women and men, like I wish my boyfriend knew how to massage, or I wish my girlfriend, and I get that often. So what I came up with is called Sacred Connection. All right, so Sacred Connection. So this type of course is not for the jump off. It's for the relationship, for the couple that, is all about creating an environment that is conducive to intimacy and sensuality, and loving and really connecting with each other on all levels, so not just the physical level. And, when we talk about that on the show is that, it's not just about the bump and grind, but, ways that you can be, just more, not just more juicy and succulent as women, but, how can you create the type of partnership that's going to last throughout the year. So with the Sacred Connection massage course, it's just that. It is a place where you'll learn how to create a sacred environment that with colors and textures and taste. I'm a foodie, so I had to put the food in there as well, and movement and touch as well, and integrating all of these aspects and all of these components into something to where, you and your partner can, build and learn how to be more connected, through the physical realm, beyond the physical realm. So that is one thing that I have coming up, and I'm very excited about that. And then also with my coaching practice is that, I've worked with women through all walks of lives, and through ages vary from 25 to 65, and what I do is I work with women that want to, to really tap into their sensuality and sexuality, and really, embrace their divine sexual goddess in them, And so I incorporated the things that I mentioned in the sacred connection program into what I call goddess flow. And so you're learning, and this good stuff, and we're going to be discussing this tonight when we're talking about, learning to love yourself without losing yourself. Really, how can you create something for yourself to where, you have a piece of yourself that is whole, and where you're not looking outside for somebody else to fulfill that void. So that's, yeah. So, and just, that's what it is. And you can find out more information on my website at www.lovesexandnutrition.com. Thank you, Steve, for that.
Oh, yes, beautiful, beautiful.
Because I don't share, we talk about a lot of things, and we get caught up in our discussions and stuff. So it's not often that I do share that part of me. But
listen, we're in the new year, sister girl, so we're going to have to blast you out there, because you are doing some phenomenal things. You're living your dream. And, Janine always says, don't just dream your God-sized dream. Live your God-sized dream. And so you are doing that, and I'm so proud of you. And so I want everybody to know what's up. And if you live in the Maryland, D.C., Baltimore area, check Voni out and get your massage. And girl, I like that. I love that sacred connection thing what you do with the brothers and the sisters. I've always thought that couples massage is just an amazing thing to happen. And I guarantee you, Voni, if couples were doing more things like that, like what you're offering, we may not be having as many conversations about how to love without losing ourselves. Because, most of this conversation is about, when we've been in a love relationship and that love relationship is not there anymore, and what do we do with ourselves after that? And, of course, we're going to generalize it, because we can lose ourselves by, loving our children. We love our children, but sometimes we don't take care of ourselves even in the midst of all that. So it's about self-love. But we wouldn't be having so many of these conversations if people were doing more connectiveness, meditating together, praying together, getting massages together, learning how to really communicate, doing some tantra where you're sitting and gazing into each other's eyes, communicating on levels beyond speaking. So,
yes.
Well,
and with that being said, we're gonna go into a quick song, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna dive into the conversation tonight. And then, family, we want to welcome you, because this is I say family because we are just that. We are family, and we're family. We love each other. We love up on each other, and we want you to, be involved in the conversation as well. So we welcome you to do so tonight. And we're going to get into a quick song. I got Mint Conditions, Someone to Love. And we'll be right back on Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Relationships. I just love that song right there. If you guys, I have the phone on mute when the song is playing, and I have many talents, and one of them is not singing. But I'll tell you, I was in here just singing my butt off. I love that song. I just want to welcome you guys back to Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Relationships. If you're just joining in on this show, I am Voni, your sexual wellness coach, along with
I am Z, your love and sex and relationship enthusiast.
Woo, go ahead and roll that L off your tongue.
Brand new author of my memoir, Jamaica, a memoir of miracles, manifestations, love. So you know I'm all about the love. I'm all about the love. And thank you, Voni, for playing that because I love that song as well. Don't know all the words to it, but I can imagine you just swaying to the music and doing your thing. So thank you. Amazing. You know, love is just such a beautiful and amazing thing, but it can also be something that can cause people hurt and pain and grief. So we're going to be talking about a little bit of both of that tonight. So we do want to thank the family for hanging out with us. So, Voni, I'm going to kind of start us off. You know, I've been in love many times in my life. You know, you think you're in love, right? Even, you know, growing up as a kid, and I had a lot of boyfriends when I was coming up. And I just seemed to always lose myself in them. You know, I've always found myself, you know, whatever it is that they wanted to do, or you know, I just would give, and then when the relationship didn't continue, I would go into this what's wrong with me phase, so you know, I didn't know how to really love myself because I was so busy pouring love into somebody else. You know, just giving and giving and giving. And, you know, yesterday, I believe it was yesterday, we went on the love journey, and Janine just did a magnificent job, as she always does, of showing us and sharing with us how we got to love up on ourselves. Nobody should be loving us more than we are loving us, and we certainly shouldn't be giving away more than we're giving to ourselves. So I have definitely found myself in situations where I was just devastated by a breakup. Devastated. I mean, depressed, didn't want to talk, you know, just, you know, hating up on myself. What did I do? I must have did something wrong. I'm not worthy. Nobody's going to love me. Nobody's going to love me. Nobody's going to love me. And, of course, after doing some work, I realized that a lot of that came from my childhood and not feeling that love from a daddy. I was talking with a sister yesterday, and I was hoping she would have been on the call tonight, but she said she grew up in a home with a father who told her how special she was, how amazing she was, of brothers who, you know, gave her that same thing. So she never had to worry about a man telling her that she was special because she already knew. And my experience was not like that at all. So I know there are others who are going to relate. I just wanted to start off, and I know we're going to read a poem too, but I wanted to just give a little tribute to my book, Jamaica Memoir of Miracles, Manifestations, Love. I'm going to read a little piece where, and I'll set the stage. We're in Jamaica. I'm having some challenges with my husband at the time, and I was all wrapped up in, you know, I really didn't want the relationship anymore, and I was really, you know, doing the blame thing. And this beautiful queen showed up in my life. Her name is Violet. And so I'm going to read a little bit about that. It is one of the most beautiful, let me start off here. Violet was a minister, spiritual teacher, writer, counselor, and soon-to-be good friend. I invited her to join me on my early morning walks up the hill so I could show her the special places I had discovered, like the Enchanted Gardens. She fell in love with this beautiful place, just like I did when I first saw it. I confided in Violet about what was happening between Tony and me. She said, Z, when will you love yourself to know you deserve better? No matter how much I wanted to blame Tony for what was happening, she kept reminding me, it's not about Tony, it's about you, Z. It's all about you. When you make up your mind that you are worth more than the treatment you are receiving, then you will let go and move forward in your life. It's time for you to acknowledge who you are as a child of God and trust that God has a better plan for your life. And so with that being said, thank you, Zakia, for your words of wisdom. What I find is, and what I found in my own life, is that I didn't acknowledge myself as worthy and deserving of having, experiencing love, sharing love, not getting loved or being loved, but just sharing that love. And so when it didn't turn up in the way that I desired it to turn up, then, everything else shows up, and, we send out all different kinds of energy. And so when she said, trust that you are a child of God and that God has a better plan for your life, one of the things I want the family to understand is when a relationship ends for whatever reason, there is no blame. We do this dance together. It works for whenever it works, and when it's time to let go, we can do so knowing that there is a divine plan that's better for us. Sometimes we make choices, but it's not a divine choice. So that's one of the things that I want to share, is that it's okay to know that this is for a moment. It may not be there for a lifetime.
Right.
I also want to share from this poem. It was written by Emily Rosen. She is from the Institute of Conscious Sexuality and Relationships. I love this Facebook page, so anybody who wants to go there can check her out. But this was really the inspiration for me for introducing this conversation tonight. Emily says in her writing, I could love you with abandon, I thought as he turned away. I felt myself leave to go after him, but I stood tall and retrieved myself with a deep breath in. I cannot tell you how embarrassingly I have lost myself in the bodies of others I often merge on meeting. I used to think, how else can I connect if I don't give everything, if I don't leave myself for you? Isn't that love true? If I don't leave myself for you, isn't that love true? What do you think about that, Voni? Can you feel that?
Yes.
If I can feel that. Myself for you. Because and I can't speak for you, but yeah, I've thought that. I'm supposed to give. That's what I'm supposed to do. Give of myself. Pour myself into you. Pour my love into you. And I think a lot of that comes from, as women, us pouring our love into our children. I've heard so many women say, you'll do anything for your child. You'll sacrifice anything. They're going to eat before you do. So you get used to pouring your love into your children, and then we take that same thing and we pour it into a relationship, and we still lose ourselves. And I'm saying that we can lose ourselves even with loving our children. But I know I have been there. If I don't give everything, if I don't leave myself for you, isn't that love true? And believing that's what true love is. How about you, Voni? Have you had any experiences like that in your life?
I have, and it's interesting, again, to have this conversation, is that, I'm in transition and I'm moving, and so as I'm moving, I'm packing up things and letting go, releasing a lot of items, gifts from past relationships, and that no longer are serve a purpose in my life. So I'm getting rid of these physical items that hold this energy. I'm selling them. I'm throwing them away. And then I came across a journal that I wrote that I've, just chronicled my life throughout my years. And I came across a journal just yesterday, and I'm reading it. And this is a 20-year-old Vondria. So here I am. I'm 38, so 18 years ago, and I'm reading, the mind state that I was in the relationships in the past, and I distinctly remember this, Z. When we're talking about, giving and pouring into our relationship, and my story is a little different than yours. Is that when I was in high school and I had my first love, and I lost my virginity to this man, and and I just thought the world of him. Even though, other people like, oh, he's no good. I'm like, no, he loves me. I love him. We're gonna get married after high school. Like all these things, all these hopes and dreams. And I remember him, just being that. And come to find out, he cheated on me. And I'm like, what? He cheated on me? And you mentioned, the role that the men, the fathers. I have a stepfather, and then my father was in my life, but he wasn't, in the household. So every Valentine's Day, my stepfather would get me, my sister, and his daughter, he would get us gifts for Valentine's Day, and even though, we didn't have boyfriends or anything like that, like he always made sure he would get us a box of chocolates and a card, something like that for Valentine's Day. And then my dad, well, when I would talk with him, he would always, just tell me how beautiful I am, and and just make me feel real confident during those years when I didn't feel that confidence, from the outside world. So here I am, with this boyfriend, and finding out that he cheated on me, and I had my sister drive me to his house because I was going to go there. I was going to cuss him out. I was going to beat him. I didn't know what I was going to do. I just knew that I was enraged because my heart was aching. My heart was just hurting, and I couldn't believe that somebody that I cared so much for, did this. I got in his face, and I distinctly remember, getting in his face and telling him about himself, and I raised my hand where I was about to punch him because I was just I was just hurt, and I didn't know anything else or how to express that. And I raised my hand, and I was about to punch him, and I was like, you know what? You're not even worth it. And I turned around and I left, and I had a conversation with my sister. And at the age of 17, I was like, you know what? I think this moment right here is going to shape the way that I look at how I am in relationships in the future. So I saw this as a transformational part. Even, like I said, the age of 17, feeling this way and stuff, I was like, you know what? If I put all this energy, if I gave him, if I was physical with him, how am I going to handle myself if this was to happen again? And so, again, telling you about, me at 20 years old, reading my journals and stuff, and then going through 20, 24, 25, and then here I am, 38. And just looking at the relationships that I am and reflecting on them, I have been guilty of not giving my all into relationships. Mm-hmm. I've been guilty of the one that reserves that piece of me so that if it ever does end, then I can still salvage myself, if that makes sense. But as a result of that, I've been through relationships where it wasn't evenly yoked, because here I have a man that, that loves and he cares about me, and he's trying to be about me and stuff. And I'm playing the game, and I love them and I care about them. I'm not saying that it wasn't genuine, but it still was a piece of me that just wouldn't allow me to just totally, to submit, I guess, to it. And be totally vulnerable, because I looked at what being vulnerable did to me then, and then looking at other relationships, personal friends and family, looking at those relationships and seeing what vulnerability did to them. And as you mentioned, what it did to you, to where, when these relationships, when they serve their purpose, how you felt afterwards. So I don't know if it's the Virgo in me overanalyzing things, but, from that, I was just like, no, that can't be me. I can't play myself. That was my thing. Like, I'm not going to play myself. I'm not going, whatever, right? So here I am, 38 again, and I'm in this relationship now with this wonderful, wonderful man. And, here we are on Love Talk, Let's Talk Love, Sex and Relationships, having this conversation. And we've been doing this show for a couple of years, and I'm thinking, and here I am in this relationship, and we talk about relationships, we talk about love, we talk about sex, all these different things, but I'm not living the things that I'm talking about when I'm in this relationship, fully. And I know we're gonna talk about, again, ways of not losing yourself, but ways of, really, being totally into the relationship without losing yourself, because that has been a fear of mine. But here I am where I find that I want to give that love, that piece of myself, I guess, that I never, been so open to give. So that's a little twist.
Wow. So wow. So what I was getting from you is that you're like you said, you're different from mine, because I was on that, and you realized at an early age that you couldn't give yourself up like that. You going upside this brother's head, we're only gonna get you into trouble. I've been on that editing before. I didn't hold back mine though, but that's a beautiful thing. But it also puts a reservation on you.
Yes.
So I think a lot of times that happens is when we get hurt. Sometimes people do it over and over again. But sometimes you get it the first time around, and then you want to draw back. You don't give the love. So, and that's just, and maybe that's what's happening on the opposite end. We say many times women say the brothers are reserved, they're not really giving, but maybe it's their defenses up because they've had a hurt, and sometimes it only takes one to really. When it's kind of knock you out the ballpark with, I'm not giving up my love like that no more to nobody. To do that.
Right, right, and unfortunately, and it's a cycle, that continues itself if we don't deal with it.
Absolutely. So, coming back to how do we love others without losing ourselves? So I know you have some things that you're going to share, but I'm just thinking of one of the things that I love to do is I love to do things by myself. And so I don't, when I'm in a relationship, I don't have to be, with my man all the time. I love taking myself to the movies, maybe go to a spa thing. So I think that we can do things that just as us, spending some more me time, and if we are out of a relationship or the relationship has ended, that's the time to really pour more love into ourselves rather than to go into that dark place where we're allowing all these negative thoughts and feelings and depression and all of that to come through us to go forth and do the exact opposite. Well, I'm going to go treat myself. I'm going to go hang out with myself. I'm going to do something I love. Janine always talks about our sacred baths, things that we can do. So I want to encourage us that even if we're in a situation, even now or maybe sometimes, in the future, if that relationship is not is ending, and it's never an ending, it's just, a transition, pour more love into you. And I'm talking to myself, Zakia. Pour more love into me. Not saying that I won't have tears, not saying that I won't, have even going through maybe a little grieving period, but not to the point where I'm losing who I am. Okay.
Right.
And so, writing love letters. Oh my gosh, I love that. Dear Zakia, I love, what I'm saying? Can you get a love letter? not even hard. You don't even have to spend any money. You can just sit and write a love letter to yourself. All the things that you may have desired for someone else to say, I can say them to myself. And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I honor you, Voni, that you had a male in your life that could tell you how amazing you are and buy you things for Valentine's Day. I never had that. I never had that. So, you know, and it's beautiful when you have that. But we can do those things for ourselves. We can send ourselves candy. We can send ourselves flowers. So I would just encourage you, sisters, and brothers too. You know, I know brothers are into, you know, sending themselves some good stuff. But if a relationship is transitioning and you find yourself in that place, send yourself some flowers. Go buy yourself some strawberries covered with chocolate and beautiful love letter, you know, or even a letter from God to you telling you how he loves you, how she adores you, how amazing you are. And I have something even more wonderful coming forth for you. So that's just one of my things. I know you had a couple that you had gotten from an article, if you wanted to share that with the family.
Yeah. I found an interesting article on BeliefNet.com, and they talk about some tips that we can do and we can incorporate, tips for loving ourselves. And I like what you're talking about, you know, with the baths and the love letters and beautiful. And I just have to throw in the touch, you know, like getting in the mirror and just loving yourself up with the touch and the caresses. And, I mean, running your fingers through your own hair or massaging your scalp, you know, doing these things, because the body, you know, it doesn't know if you're doing it or if your beloved, if your lover is doing it, but it's receiving that love energy, and boy, does it just allow your body to just radiate juiciness so you can attract this love that you're looking for. You know, you're preparing yourself. You're getting yourself ready for that one. So again, you know, going back to this article, and you know, I was reading, and I was like, yeah, okay, I do that. So one of them is, you know, this belief that you complete me, you know, the other half, my better half, or my other half, you know, the whole half. You know, we are whole beings, and we have to recognize ourselves as being that we are whole, we are holistic, you know, we are spiritual, physical, emotional beings, you know, and this makes us a complete whole. So, you know, looking for someone to rescue you or to complete you, you know, that's not the way that you want to go into a relationship, you know, seeking that person, because if that relationship is not to work out, then, you know, you're left feeling a void. Whereas, again, you know, you are whole. So, you know, so really tuning into the wholeness and the beauty of who you are. Another thing is, don't be that yes partner, you know, that everything that your partner wants to do, you just want to agree to doing it just because, you know, you don't want to ruffle any feathers or anything like that. And even though it's not something that you want to do, you know, you're just that yes one, and you don't have an opinion. But what happens is that, you know, when you don't speak your mind and when you're not open to being yourself, you know, again, you forget the person of who you really are, because you're all into that person, and you know, and trying to accommodate them without them putting in an effort to accommodate what your needs are and what your wants are. You agree? So Z, you know, as I'm bringing these things up, did you find that when you were in these relationships that you found yourself doing these things?
Girlfriend. I was like that with my last husband. God bless him. He's such an amazing teacher in my life. But
I like the way you put that too, because these relationships are amazing. They are teaching lessons.
Some of our best teachers. I write about it in my book. I said Tony was one of my best teachers because he really did teach me who I was being. When I really stood back and took a look at it, and of course, I wasn't really seeing it when I was in it, but I saw a whole lot of it when I got up out of there. I was like, OMG, girl, you really lost yourself. I would really find whatever he did or whatever he wanted to do, I would just kind of go along with it. And a lot of that I learned early in the relationship because I learned that if I decided to do something else or wanted to do something else and that's not what he wanted to do, it became an issue.
Okay.
And, that issue would turn into something ugly. So I just kind of, kind of went along like the little subservient little, thing, until I came to my senses, and then look, and then I came to buck up, and that became another issue. But yeah, and that's a terrible feeling when you just kind of go along with okay, well, where do you want to go eat tonight? Wherever you want to go. Or it's that, and I saw something. I don't know if it was a movie or something where when the woman was like that, the man kind of lost respect for her. Like, well, don't you have an opinion? I don't want to do everything you want to do. Hey, let's do this. Let's do some compromise. Well, if you want to go to bed at 9 o'clock, okay. Well, no, I really want to stay downstairs and watch my shows. But you just kind of go along with it. That's a terrible place to be. And it's also a terrible place to be when you don't have anything for yourself. You don't maybe go out with your girlfriends anymore. You don't take yourself to the movies. You do everything that you were talking about earlier, everything that your partner does, you just kind of go along with it. And then you look at yourself one day and say, who am I? Who am I?
Right.
And another thing that happens with that too, Voni, is if, for instance, a relationship does end, or maybe even the partner passes away, you don't even know who you are anymore because you're so wrapped up and have been so wrapped up in that relationship. So it's definitely important to keep a handle on our own self and our own sacredness, and realize that when we get into a relationship, like you said, these are two whole people coming together. Ain't nobody completing nobody. So whatever I come with my wholeness, I'm taking my wholeness back out with me.
That's right.
And,
take that wholeness.
Yeah, I love that. I wanted to just also share, and I know we want to get some people to join with us and maybe share a little bit of their experience or any of their own suggestions. I just want to read a little bit from what she says. There's no way I'm not going to see if there is love like what I imagine it could be. This is such a new distinction for me because you, too, lose yourself when you fall. It is remarkably common, I have found, and I think it is what we really actually feel most. Yes, it is painful to lose someone you love, but I think it is a unique form of excruciating to find you have lost yourself as well. And this is what we go through as things crumble, and then one day we wake up and think, how did I get here? Who is this person? When did I become this shell of me?
Right.
And we have to heal a broken heart while realizing we no longer know ourselves.
Yes.
So,
I was mentioning to you that, what part of my journey is looking at other relationships and just, I say like my friends that are, close and dear to me, and how I would see how they would lose themselves. Like, this is not the same person that I know, and it's funny and, and vibrant. And I remember one of my dear girlfriends, she had came over to the house, and we were having, I think, like a brunch or something like that, and her husband, now her ex-husband, he was there, and he was in the other room, and they were, going through some things, and she just said, you know what, like, he doesn't even know that I'm funny, because she would crack me up. Like, she was one to crack up the class, the group, and she was always, laughing and smiling, and she said, I was like, he doesn't know how great you are, how your sense of humor, and I was just, like, I couldn't believe that, because that was the part of her, when I thought of her, I associated, that with her. And, it's sad but true that, we do that. We sacrifice ourselves, our wholeness, to accommodate, our partner, whereas our partner may be dealing with some insecurities themselves, and they feel intimidated or something and they look at it as, that person is outshining me, or that person is trying to, be this and that, when, truly that person is just, they want to be themselves.
That is so, oh, my God. That even happens in professionals. If you've got two professionals,
oh,
and
yeah.
And if you're the woman, let's say, and you are, you're climbing the ladder. Magnificent things are happening for you. Sometimes you can have a mate that is really, and like I said, intimidated by that, and then all of a sudden you find that you have to shrink yourself in order for you not to hurt their feelings. But if that's happening, I would venture to say, and I am not an expert, I would venture to say that there needs to be some conversation, and maybe this is not the right person for you, because your beloved should always want to see you shine, would always want to lift you up higher, and you would do the same for them. It's no big eyes and little U's in a relationship. And if you're, if I'm writing a book and, my book is going to be a #1 bestseller, I want a man that's going to encourage that and not tell me, well, I don't know why you writing that, nobody wants to hear what you have to say. Woo. So just be, be on the alert and be aware, and do you, boo. Do you. Because we only get one lifetime. We may get a lot of, relationships in this one lifetime, but we only get one lifetime to express our God-given talents and abilities and to share our love. And that love better be unconditional for ourselves, because we ain't giving up nothing to nobody else that's for real unless we already.
That's for real. And you know what, and see, I also want to say, we're talking about love, but, giving gratitude. I believe in giving gratitude.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, God.
And giving thanks to these men for showing us what needed to be shown in ourselves in that relationship, so that we could work on it and so it can come out. Because I think, Tony, for showing whatever lesson that you needed to learn, because if not, we wouldn't have this show, you wouldn't have your book, we wouldn't be where we wouldn't have evolved into the people and the women that we are today. And so that we can have this platform to share our stories, and relate to other people. Because what we were talking about, it may resonate with someone that's listening on the show, and they're like, you know what, I'm in some bullshit right now. I need to recognize what's going on with me. I need to love me up. Like I need to do some work, and so. So these relationships, they weren't in vain. They definitely, they ran their course and they served their purpose, and I thank them for that.
Give God the glory. Let me say, girlfriend, I love Tony. I absolutely adore him, and when he calls me now all the way from Jamaica, there are times when I take his call and there's times when I don't, because sometimes I just don't want to hear what he got to say. But I'm just saying, I am so grateful, because when I came to who I truly was in the midst of that, like you said, now you get to see Zakia, the me that I've always wanted to see, and I'm still growing. But yeah, they're all a gift. We're a gift to them because and I don't want it to always seem like we're coming down on the brothers, because I know the brothers go through stuff too. Brothers get hurt too. And but when you come full circle and you come back to you, oh my God, how amazing is that? I've fallen in love with myself all over again. Talk about you can't say, but yeah. So thank you, God. Did you have anything that you wanted to add to that, or do you want to see if there's anyone else on the line that has anything?
I mean, I could talk some more, but I want to get an opportunity for the family to chime in. This is a family show with adult conversations, so you are definitely welcome to chime in, and you can do that by pressing the number 1, and if we see you in the queue, we will let you in. And I don't see anybody popping up now, but while we wait, I'm going to give a couple more suggestions that we can do to, so we don't lose ourselves. And you spoke about this, is getting your own business, having your own life, hanging out with your girlfriends and hanging out with your boyfriends, and and doing things for yourself and with your family and stuff that don't. Exactly, like, that partner doesn't have to be involved in, and I am one for that. Like, I'm not into, like, the clingy dude. Like, I just, like, like, you need to get your own business for right now. We don't meet back up, but, do something with yourself, and I've been fortunate to that, but that's not something that I am attracted to, where someone is all, clingy on me. And so I know that works for me. It's just, like having that life where, you mentioned, going to the movies. Like, I enjoy my company by myself. I do. And that actually was kind of like a problem because I enjoyed my company so much. My me time.
You got to have some balance, right? You got to have some balance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I got to have exactly, and I'm getting it. I got the balance and the harmony. That's what I like. I like because things are harmonious, where I still get my me time, but I like my man time too. I like being up under him and snuggling with him, and and doing those types of things. So I'm definitely getting that, and I'm enjoying this experience. But that is something that we can do to
And the thing about that too is that it enhances the relationship as far as I'm concerned, because then you can come and have something to share with each other than what happened at work today or what's going on with the kids or whatever. But, you can go and talk about the movie that you went and saw, especially if it's a girl flick, your guy, it's a girl flick. But you would have something different. Or if you went to get a massage, baby, oh, my God, this massage I had today. And then he might even say, oh, no, I can't have another woman or another man giving you a better massage than me, so I got you going to get another one tonight.
Right.
You ain't going to put up no resistance to that, right? I think we have some callers that may want to chime in, and so can you open up the line for 917?
I sure can. Oh.
All right.
Well, hold on. I'm going to open the call. What did you say? What number? 917?
445. Yeah.
All right. All right. Welcome to Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Relationships.
I love you, I love you, I love you. Peace and blessings. This is Jackie from Maryland.
Hey, Jackie.
Hey, Jackie.
I just want to say I love this conversation. But you know what? To recognize that you lost before you realize that, you're going through all this stuff. Because, when I was going through it, I didn't know who I was or anything. And being lost, sometimes it could be a good thing, but for me, it didn't work so well. And what I come to find out, not just in relationship, even in my house do not even identify to me. I don't identify to my own home because it's not me, because it's not who I am. And so even to this day, I am now still seeking and searching who Jackie is, because Jackie was lost with her son in the beginning, then her daughter, and then other people, and just being lost. And I'm like, well, who are you? And when I turned 40, I said, woo, this is it right here. This is me. This is who I am. I felt so invigorated, so powerful, because I turned 40, and I said, ain't a damn thing going to happen to me without me giving permission for anything to happen. All is good and great. And then I'm like, well, I still can identify who I am. When I look around in my house, I'm like, somebody gave me this and somebody gave me that. I only took it because I had the space for it, but it's not really who I am. My home is kind of masculine for me, and I want to tone it down to a more feminine. I want to identify myself in my own home. And when I look around the people that's in my own home, I'm like, y'all don't belong here either. Only because of the bullshit. It's a lot of bullshit, and I recognize that, and I'm fed up with it, and I'm saying, this is not who I am. You don't do this, and you don't do that. I'm tired of this now. So I'm identifying myself now as to who I am.
Good for you, sis.
My mom think I'm cussing at her. She's like, "You talking to me?" I'm like, "No, Mom, on the phone." But
Jackie, I want to say thank you for sharing that and for your transparency. And I would just invite you, if you haven't already done so, because you know how important it is to write. And if you haven't already done so, I would encourage you to write out those thoughts that you just had, what you are dissatisfied with, what you've fed up with, that you ain't taking no more to bullshit for, and then tell God what you want. Now, this is how I see my life, and this is what I want and how I want to create it. And, we just been talking about doing vision boards. Get your pictures out your magazine, girlfriend, and create your space. Even if you can't do it in your home, you can create it on your vision board. Create your vision, and you know how it manifests. You know what the subconscious mind will do with that. Because I will tell you, I'm I can relate to what you're saying, because I'm in a home that we grew up in ever since I was 6 years old. And I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to have a roof over my head. I'm grateful for my mother, who has spent, she takes care of this property and does all of her best. But I want my own. I want a place when I walk into it, it's me. You know what I'm saying? And it's my energy, and I want to be able to to decorate it my way. And I'm, you're saying that you like that at 40, and I'm saying at 62, I'm ready to make that change for myself, because I feel like I've lost myself in this home. And I want to be able to have my own, where I can, pour myself, my creativity, my energy. I want to light my candles, and if I want to put up my altar, I can put up my altar, whatever it is. And I think that's so important. It's vital. It's vital to us. So thank you for sharing that, and thank you for enlightening me as to what I need to do to put that energy out to get my own space too. So I see you releasing the bullshit this year, girlfriend. And that beautiful, amazing Jackie.
I know that's right. But I also want to say to Voni, I want to thank you so much for your transparency. How you want to punch him and everything. Girl, I wanted to do that too, but what I found out in my relationship, what I did say is, I do not want us to break up because of another person. Let it be because of what's going on in our relationship, but not because somebody stepped outside of the relationship. Let that be the reason why, because whatever's going on, we should be able to work it, but don't let it be because someone stepped outside of the relationship. I did say that much. That was when I was ready to yoke him up in his collar. Even though he was bigger than me, that's just how much anger, because I'm hurt. Mm-hmm. And that's just how much anger I had inside of me, where I was ready to yoke this man, but then I had to release and put my hands up as, let's not do this. Let's not bring violence in. I'm hot-headed, he's hot-headed. So, that don't match at all. So I want to thank you for your transparency during that time there.
Thank you,
thank
sis.
you so
I
much.
Appreciate it. All right.
I love y'all.
Take care. Love you too, sis. Peace. All right. We're going to bring another caller in, area code 904-994. Welcome to Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Relationships. Hello. Are you there, caller?
Caller 904-994. Calling you once, calling you twice.
No. Cancel.
Okay.
Hello, my Mingo goddess. How are you?
Peace and love, my brother. Peace and love.
King. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I had an amazing experience today. My neighbor asked me that I want to receive gifts from his coconut tree. I said, receive? Oh, most definitely. So as I watched him go up the tree and knocked out a dozen quick coconuts and juiced them, oh, my God.
Oh, wow.
It's just so delicious. So my smoothie in the morning is going to be so amazingly special. But, I've been thinking about this conversation, a relationship that I got lost in, or the breakup of the relationship that I was so hurt that I was lost. Well, I've had breakups before, and yes, it did bother me emotionally. But to be said that I'm lost in that relationship, I guess we men don't have that lostness to where I gave up everything just to be with you. However, I remember you talking, Z, about the question, where do you want to go for dinner tonight? And I never get a straight answer, or I get an answer, then I won't get an answer. And then it says, whatever you want to do. So after about the fourth time, I would go to the grocery store, get a pack of chicken or something, and go back home.
Mm.
She's like, that's not what you said you were going to do. I said, look, I asked you, where do you want to go? And you couldn't give me an answer. So I knew if I made a decision, you were going to have complaints. So I figured if we go home, everything is cool at home. And that didn't make sense to her. She said, well, you could have picked anywhere. I said, but that wouldn't have been the answer that I'm looking for. I asked you, do you want to go out to dinner? You said, yes. Question, where do you want to go? You couldn't give me an answer, and then you're going to put it back on me to give an answer. Then I should have came to you and said, let's go to Ruth Chris. Let's go to Morton's. Let's go. No, should have gave you a suggestion, and then you say yes or no. But you're not involving yourself in our decision-making process. You're putting it all on me because I'm the man. I want to know where in this relationship do you put your input. Mm-hmm. And if you're not putting in input, then how do I call this a relationship other than I got a woman that does everything I say we want her to do? I've grown up past being 21. I don't want that. I don't desire that. I don't seek that. And when that's what I'm being given as a more mature man, then I can do that by myself, Zakiya. Mm-hmm. I don't need to go with someone who can't tell me, I heard a lot about the Cheddar House. Let's go to the Cheddar House. Oh, really? Where's that?
Now, let me ask you this. So how does it make you feel, and I want to talk about a feeling, because I heard what you said about, what you don't want. How does it make you feel about her when she is responding in that way? And do you say to her, other than to say, I would like for you to make a decision, but do you let her know how important that is to maintaining the relationship? Maybe she, you know what I'm saying? Because I think that when men communicate with us, how important it is that we show up and not just be a little yes girl, because I don't, I lose respect or whatever it is. Do you have a conversation that helps her to know so she can grow?
Right.
How important it is. Can you answer?
It makes me feel as if I have a full-grown Yorkie. I don't want that. I want someone who's going to. I don't want to feel like I'm the only one that's making the adult decisions in this two-adult relationship. So it's not something that I cherish. I want you to let me know that you have a conscious thought, and that thought is followed by a conscious heart, that you want to experience things with me like I want to experience things with you. I want to go scuba diving. You don't want no parts of getting your hair wet. Okay, let's compromise. Jet skis. But that conversation don't happen when whatever you want to do is all I hear.
Okay, no. So my second question was, do you have that conversation just the way you're sharing it with us? Do you share that?
I have to, because if I don't, then I'm lying to myself. I have no desire to not be truthful to me. I want you. If I'm with you, spending time with you, I'm doing it because I want to experience your life with you as much as I want you to experience my life with me.
That's so beautiful. And so when you have that conversation, does it bring about change, or have you had an incident where when you've had that conversation that it brought about change?
Well, I've had both. Mm-hmm. The incident where it still didn't take effect, that relationship came to a speedy halt because I just had no more input for that relationship. If I'm the only input, then I don't need you. And then on the other side of the pendulum, whenever the question came up, there was always an answer. It was like, man, I'm loving this. And even they would come up and ask questions of, can we do, would you like to, I want to do. These things were exciting to know that, okay, I wonder what she's going to come home with tonight. Matter of fact, is she going to come home with a new wig? It came down to even that extreme, that she would come home and all of a sudden, okay, that's not the woman that left you this morning. Who is that? Getting out that car, waving at me up the window. Who is that? And when she gets inside the house, it's, oh, my goodness, we got to go out and celebrate. Where are we going?
And she's already got the place all picked out.
And she already got the place already picked out, ready to go. And all I got, as a matter of fact, I don't even have to drive. That was even more fun. Like, what? And, of course, the thing I never asked, because I knew I was going to get the answer to, where are we going again? No. Even to the extreme where I felt so comfortable that I allowed a blindfold to be put on me. Girl, talk about all of your senses coming to life. I smelled everything. I heard everything. I felt everything. Oh, my God. All because this chick put a blindfold on me? Oh, yeah. I was scared at first, but then I asked myself, do I trust her enough to allow her to give me the pleasure that I'm seeking?
All right. Ooh, I love that.
So when you let go and let the goddess do her job, she satisfies you to the extreme.
How amazing is that? And so, sisters, I want you to hear what the brother is saying. He wants you to have, not only show you have a mind of your own, that you can think for yourself, that you have an opinion that matters, and he will honor you.
All of their opinions matter. It's just how we're ready to communicate those opinions.
Yeah,
We have to open the conversation, because if we don't open the conversation, we will lose the battle. And yes, it's a battle. because everybody wants to have validation. And when we don't have the communication necessary to get that, we have lost again and again unnecessarily.
And you know what? And I know we have to go to another caller, but the last thing I wanted to say to you was that the beautiful thing about it is that when we get that, when we really do get that, we have to open up the conversation and allow ourselves to express what it is that we are desiring. And you being the kind of man that you are, which is totally different from the man that I was married to, because he didn't want me to have an opinion. So it all depends on who you with. But sisters, if you've got a man like this amazing brother here who is open to allowing you to be your magnificent and awesome self, and you allowing him to be his magnificent.
Let me remove that word allow. It's not allow. I desire her to give me her.
Okay. I love desire.
I'm not going to allow it. It's not an allowing thing.
Well, when I say allowing, it's just a welcoming. It's just a opening the door for
I desire her to give me all of the imagination she was born with.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the dollhouse.
Go back to the dollhouse, the Barbie doll, right? Well, I just want to say thank you. You know, it's always a blessing to hear from our brothers. I am so grateful. Voni, I know you are as well, to have a male perspective to join us. And we've got a couple other callers, so we're going to move on. But love you so much. And, we're always learning and growing together. So thank you for being a part of my learning experience.
Peace and love to you. Brother.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Okay. Voni, how about 973?
973, we're going to bring you in.
885.
All right. Thank you.
Hello, lady.
Hello. Peace and blessings.
Peace and blessings. Okay, so I will say one of the things that I used to do, especially when I was younger, is I would turn myself into a pretzel for the person that I was in a relationship with, because it's somewhere in my mind, and I think this was like a lesson that my 4 or 5-year-old mind had concluded. Most of the women in my family were not involved or did not have a relationship, and so I figured that that 4 and 5-year-old mind just concluded that the reason they're not in a relationship was because they didn't turn themselves into whatever it was that that the guy was expecting. And what eventually happened was, when I did get married, the first time around, the man that I was married to, he had let it be known that he wanted me to be myself. He wanted me to be transparent. He wanted to engage that mind, but it turned into a situation where I was manipulated. He would find ways to manipulate his way into not really responding to what my needs were in order for the relationship to be sustained. And when I had come to the conclusion that the relationship was, that was not that he was a bad man, but that he was not going to be capable of giving me what it was that I needed for the relationship to be sustained, I decided to leave. Now, I would say that I had always had, even from the age of 4, I always had this thought in my head that having a true, what you would call, deep and loving relationship was possible. And even after the marriage, after the first marriage, that thought was sustained. That eventually, over time, what I began to realize was that I am appreciative of that first marriage because he truly taught me about what it was that I was going to need in order for the relationship to be sustained. And then in order for the relationship to be sustained, what began happening was that when I recognized that the person that I may have been dating was not going to be able to accommodate that, I was quick to end the relationship and just simply tell them, I think that you're a nice person, but we're just not a match. Some of the self-love techniques that I did was to go ahead and kind of dig deeper into what did each of my relationships up until the first marriage teach me. One of the things that they taught me was that my love language was physical touch and quality time. So these were things that were going to be required. And then I started doing those things for myself. Another thing that I also did was, what I call mirror affirmations, where I would look at myself in a full-length mirror and find, even during those times when I'm being kind of critical about my body, but find that one thing about myself that I felt that was beautiful, and I would just say, you know what, you have a very, very, lovely face. What is it that, and I would ask myself, well, what is it that I admire about myself? And it also comes with affirming questions. Well, I admire the fact that I'm intelligent. I admire the fact that that I'm willing to be transparent, and in almost every walk of my experience. And one of the things that I'm continually working on is just being authentic in every expression of every part of my life. So what began to happen was when I would come into contact with a person that did not necessarily fit into that criteria, instead of feeling that sort of that's being in that space of feeling a bit desperate, like I'm not with anybody, let me just hang on to this, let me see how it'll fit. I had to let go of that and just say, well, you want a relationship where it's an open relationship. Well, I can't accommodate that. But I can honor and respect that. And we, the relationship that you and I have, it can become something else. You are a person who does not necessarily want children. Well, you're automatically out. That's not going to be working. But you seem like a nice person. What else do you have going on? Because there is no written rule out there that the relationship has to be a romantic one. But the losing myself, turning myself into a pretzel, that was one of my main issues.
Wow, you said, oh my gosh, you added so much to our conversation tonight, and I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your tips on the things that you do so that you don't lose yourself. So let me ask you this. When you realize that the person that you are with is not the one, or if the relationship ends for whatever reason, do you like to do an immediate turnaround, or does it take you a minute to get through that? Because one of the things I want us to also realize is that there is sometimes a grieving process, and maybe the word grieving is not the answer, the right word, but there can be a period where, you grieve that loss. Maybe there's something, about the relationship that you really did love and adore, even though it wasn't meant to last forever. So I really want us to also give ourselves permission to go through that period of time so that we are healed. From that before we even move into another relationship. What would you have to say about that?
I would say allow yourself that time to heal over it. Allow yourself to cry over it. And try not to be in that space. I know that it's challenging, but try not to be in that space of, well, was it me? Well, what it was that you got to a point in the relationship where the relationship more than likely was not honoring who it is that you are becoming. We're not static beings. We're always evolving, and so because we're always evolving, you will get to that place, especially if you find that your needs, your wants, your requirements are not being met because they did not meet them in the first place, more than likely, that it was something that you, I hate to put it this way, but there's some truth to it, that you kind of signed up for the experience when those things that were really important to you, you did not honor them at that moment. So I would say that as soon as when I got to that place, it took me a while to get to that place of being able to discern exactly, if I got the wrong feeling about them, if I just didn't feel a connection. I just simply ended it right there, just told them, well, we're not a match, and we're not a match. I think you're a kind person, but we're not a match in this particular instance.
Something you just said is so important because energetically we attract all of our relationships.
Right.
And so if there is that so-called missing link there, then we have to always go within and find out where's that missing inside of me. And I believe I shared that when I was reading my excerpt from my book in the beginning, when Violet said to me, you have to know within yourself, God within you has already given you everything. And so if there's something that's showing up in my life that feels like it's missing something, then I haven't done the work within myself. And I got to do that work before I can even open myself up to another relationship, because guess what? Same one, going to show up, just going to have a different face. Until I get the experience, I learn the lesson and can grow. So, wow, Queen, thank you so much for sharing yourself with us tonight. You've given us some things to think about, things that we can do for ourselves, things to look out for. And, one of the things I got is that don't settle.
Yeah,
don't settle for what
if the guy is not into hugs and he needs words of affirmations all the time, if he's not willing to put in the work, then that is just that's just the indication and a mark that, okay, maybe this is not going to work, and gracefully bow out and say, I just think we're not a match. Not that there's anything wrong, but especially if you find yourself in a place where your desires are not important enough, or those needs are not important enough.
Right, and also learning your love languages. You said something really important about that. And family, if you don't know about the 5 love languages, please go online and learn, do the test. You can do a self-test to find out what your love language is. I'm just saying, for me, it was and is an amazing thing, and to know what your love language is, because I'm like you, my sister, I love touch. And when I don't get enough touch, it doesn't feel like love for me. I know that's my stuff, and I still have that to work on, but I love touch. And, so maybe yours, is a gift, so maybe yours is words of affirmation. So when you can find that connection, and you can start, throwing out that energy to attract to yourself that one that can match your love language. And, of course, you want to also match his as well. So thank you so much. You have been a blessing. Keep coming back.
Thank you.
Love to hear from you. And peace and love to you, Queen. God bless you.
Peace and love to you.
So, Voni, did you have any? I think the last caller we had is not there anymore. At least I don't see her.
Okay.
Excuse me. Did you want to share anything else from the 6 things that you came up with that we can do so we don't lose ourselves?
I think we covered it between our conversation and what our callers contributed tonight into the conversation. I think that we are pretty full and equipped with things that we can do to not lose ourselves when loving others. This was an amazing conversation, and I just want to thank the family for chiming in and joining us tonight. Because all these things are, it's just a resource, and not to say that, that we're perfect and in our relationships, but, as we, as we grow, and I like as the last caller says, as we evolve, we are introduced to these relationships that allow us to do just that, to grow and to be, truly who we are and walk in our purpose.
Yes. I also want to say this conversation can also be with regard to our families, our children, even if we have elders that we are supporting. I talk about Janine all the time. That's because I love her so much. But one of the things that she helped me to see in me taking care or supporting my mother is, what are you doing for yourself? And I would always say, but I got to do this. I got to take her to appointments. I got to. She said, I get that. But what are you doing for yourself? Don't lose yourself because you're taking care of another. And it's the same thing with our children. So it all comes back to taking time for ourselves. And sometimes, who was that I was talking to the other day, and they said, girl, I can't even go to the bathroom about my children knocking on the door. No, we really got to teach our children at a young age. This is mommy's time. I'm getting my bath. No, you have to know, set your boundaries, even with your children, with your beloved, and I just have to say this. I had a husband, going to the bathroom was not a sacred thing with him. So, you got to have your time, baby. You got to have your time. So,
yes, you do.
This conversation about not losing ourselves really does pass on to everything in our life, even when it comes to our jobs. We get so caught up, you got to please the boss, or you got to get this done, and you don't even take a lunch time. You are required to take time, a break time. I think the law says so. And so if you're we got
to put it into law in your relationship.
Yeah, for us to even say, I got to do this for myself. We, because that loving ourselves spills out into every part of our life. It spills out into our money. Loving ourselves is loving our money, and loving our money is loving ourselves. It spills out into how we take care of ourselves, what we eat, Ms. Voni, what we eat,
you are correct.
and how we nurture and support ourselves. So I just needed to share that.
Well, thank you, sis. Thank you for sharing. And thank you all for that call in tonight, for sharing with us this evening.
Absolutely. And I just want to also just take a minute. I know you're ready to go out. I just want to share this little bit from Emily Rosen. She says, I am aiming to play differently. Oh, I love that. I am game for trying something new. I am learning. I am leaning into loving with abandon without leaving me.
Oh, I love that outro.
Love that.
Yeah.
Family, if you want to read the entire poem by Emily Rosen, please go to the Institute for Conscious Sexuality and Relationship. It's on Facebook. The author of this writing is Emily Rosen. And I'm sure as you're reading this, you will pull out some absolute treasures, some of those golden nuggets that will change, rearrange, or redirect, or just feel resonant to you in her sharing. So thank you for allowing me to share Emily's writing tonight. I'm going to pass it back over to you, Queen.
Family, thank you. All right, family. Well, we want to, again, thank you for joining us this evening. Again, we believe in gratitude. So I know I probably said it 50 million times, but, you could have been anywhere on this planet tonight, and you chose to be with us. And I know Z and I are, just grateful for you. So, family, we're going to close it out tonight with the show, learning to love without losing ourselves. We're going to close it out tonight with some Elder Barge. And also, I just want to remind you that we are here every first and third and fifth Friday of the month, if there is a fifth Friday, on Let's Talk Love, Sex, and Relationships. And we will be having our updated Facebook page, so that will be coming soon. But feel free to reach out to us on the current Facebook page, Love, Sex, and Nutrition. And you can reach out to me, Voni Walters, at Voni, VONI, at lovesexandnutrition.com. If you have any comments or questions or anything like that, or if you just want to find out what I'm doing, feel free to go on the webpage, www.lovesexandnutrition.com. I have information about the upcoming classes, and actually I'll be posting some things within the upcoming days as well. So we're going to close out tonight with our musical selection with my man, again, one of my favorites, and I'm going to put it on mute as I sing, and I welcome you to do the same. This is a way to love yourself, is singing. Do what feels good, and this is Elder Barge. Love me in a special way.
Love, family. I love you all. Namaste.
All right. Love you. Peace and blessings. Namaste.